What up, guys? The offensive madman Kyle Robinson coming to you live with another Warframe Wednesday video. If you've been following us along, last week we talked Arsenal, and this week we're going to kind of get back into the Arsenal. But first, I think I need to make a little bit of an amendment to last week's video. I talked about a few things and said we had mentioned them in a mod video. Well, guess what, dumbass has not yet done a mod video. If you raised your hand and pointed at the computer and said, "That dumbass," you would be correct. Thank you for everyone who let me know that. So, with that said, we're going to focus on the Arsenal today. The mod video is actually coming next week because I fucking suck. And, yeah, so, as such, let's get into Arsenal Part 2. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about the gear wheels, or a little more about gear wheels, because we did talk about that last week. Emotes, customization with some of the mods, get into that a little more. The gear slots, the Eximus slots, which is something that was on the Warframe that I mentioned in kind of passing last week. And then finally, we're going to break down that little R3 menu that talked about starting mod capacities, switching polarities, and finally formas. So, without further ado, let's take a look here again at the gear wheel. It hasn't changed a whole lot, obviously. It used to actually be limited to 12 items, which is kind of convenient now that they've made it to this evolving, never-ending gear wheel. But the cool thing about some of this stuff is there's stuff now that I have access to that new players may not. But, you know, these things here, so like one of the things like this here, this glyph prism, there's different ones of these you can actually change and do different glyphs as a means to kind of put your personality out there, so to speak. There's bait, the Turlock fishing spear, the scanners, trank rifle for conservation, your codex scanners, and then there's these little fireworks things, which were just kind of like emotes in and of themselves. I've never bought them, but they're little emotes in and of themselves that you can add. This is all stuff that kind of, when we did talk about the Foundry, this is all stuff that was in the items menu that you could craft. I need more ciphers right there. See, there's only 3. Shit, I miss ciphers in the PC version already, I can tell you that. So, once you back out of that, and literally to add something, I guess I should show that, huh? To add something, you go around here, it'll say add gear item, and I'll just pick something up. I don't think I have this. I don't even know what this is. Wait, this item will be automatically available from the gear menu when fishing. Oh, they might have changed that too, shit. Let's see here. Can I add this? Okay, so you can add, like, all you gotta do is select it, it adds it to the end of the wheel. Reorganizing this wheel is not intuitive at all, just so you know. It is basically, like, if you click something, it'll bring it up, and then you try to swap it out with something else. But yeah, it's now that section there is gone. It doesn't just swap them if they're both equipped, which is really fucking annoying. But other than that, I can't complain too much about the improvements that have been made to the gear wheel over the time that I've played this game. So with that, let's take a look at the emotes. So emote wheel works the exact same, except it's not never ending. See, there is 12? Is there 12 slots? I think there's 12 slots. 12 slots. So you select it. These are all the emotes that you have access to, or that I have access to, I guess technically. And as you unlock more, they will become available here. So you select them, and then boom, right there. And then to use an emote, which I don't know if I can do it from the orbiter. Can I? No, it won't let me. Oh, wait, there we go. So down is your menu here, and if you hit R1, it'll take you to your emotes wheel. You basically just round and round and press X on it, and hey, I waved. Looky there. So that is your emotes wheel. Now, let's get a little touch about customization with mods. We'll get more in depth in mods next week. But for now, the customization with the mods, we'll start here with the Warframe because a few different things can be touched on from this particular menu. If you press triangle or the upgrade key on whatever your particular console is, you see how there's different mod slots. Let's go over. You'll see I have different loadouts in my screen up here. So we'll go over to test build and let's just go ahead and remove a few of these because this is just stuff that I have fucked with. The first thing up here is an aura mod. So that's down here. If you match the symbols there with the symbol correspondent to it, and I'm trying to find, there we go. So if you match them, see how it turns green? It's gonna give you a higher mod capacity. Case in point, you remove it, you start at 60. So, if you start at 60 and add an aura slot that is congruent with that particular mod, like that, you'll get an additional 18 points. If you add, and that's a fully maxed out weapon, or fully maxed out mod. If you don't get it, you'll still get a bonus, but it's much, much lower. See, there's only 5 there for a fully maxed out physique mod that doesn't quite give you the buff. So, that said, we'll go ahead and we'll add steel charge. I'm just really gonna build this for shits and giggles, kind of explain the Exilus slot, which is this here. Normally, let's go ahead and pick a frame that I've not fucked with. Actually, here, we'll use Revenant because Revenant is level 0. I talked about it in the Mastery Rank video. You typically, if you're at Mastery Rank 1, your capacity, which is right here, will start out at 1. Over here, though, see how that has the lock above it? If you press X on it, would you like to add an Arsenal of Warframe adapter with the Exilus mod slot? So I don't have one, or if I do have one, I don't want to use it on Revenant yet. But that gives you an additional slot. It doesn't give you an additional capacity, but it does give you an additional slot. So, like I said, your starting capacity is 1 of 30, or, well, so it's 1 of 18 because it's based on, or mine's 18 of 18 based on my mastery rank. Basically, it's 1 of 1 when you start, and as you level up the frame, it becomes 1 of 2, 1 of 3, 1 of 4, so on and so forth, up to level 30. So once it hits 30, if I'm still at mastery rank 18 and I've added no mods to it, this will still be 18 of 30. But how do you get to 75? Or 70, was it 75, 73? If you press R3, you'll bring up this menu. For new players, for the first couple of frames, I would recommend this. It's an auto install function, which allows the game to basically install mods based on what they believe you will use in your build. It's not a great thing, but it's not bad. This is an Orkin Catalyst. I think this is the Catalyst. This is either the Catalyst or the... No, this is the Reactor. Orkin Catalyst. Or Orkin Reactor. Son of a bitch. Orkin Reactor. We call them potatoes in the Warframe community. If you press X on it, it'll say install Orkin Reactor. That will double my mod capacity right out the gate. So if I'm at 18 of 18 up here, immediately, because of my mastery rank, it will go up to 36 of 36. So I have the ability to get 36 mod capacity right out the gate because of my mastery rank. Let's hit our R3 again. You'll see how this says polarization. I'm not able to do these two things yet. So we'll bounce back to Rhino, and I'll tell you why. Because you can actually change the polarity slot on weapons and frames with formas. So Rhino is at 0 of 65 capacity because I've maxed them all the way out. But notice how I have a polarize and swap polarity slot here. So if I want, see how it says 3 or 7? Is that a 7? It is a 7. 7 of 1. I have a screen over my actual display module here. So it's 7 of 1. So if I press X, I'm able to put a forma in here. there's 4 different types of formas. There's a regular forma, which I have 5 of. There's the Umbra forma, which we're not going to talk about too much because, again, spoilers. There is the Aura forma, which will allow you to change the Aura slot up there that we had talked about a few minutes ago. So if you have a slot that you really want to mess with and you have a specific Aura mod that you want to use, gives you the option to change that so you can more customize your build. And then finally there's the stance mod, or the stance forma in here, and it'll change that, which is essentially a melee version of the melee version of an Aura mod. So that is really kind of the ins and outs of the Arsenal. All of that can be done from this particular menu. Your polarization, your mods, everything can be done from this menu. It does make it very intuitive and super easy to use once you kind of get the hang of it. Basically, all you have to do is follow the screen commands down at the bottom. It'll tell you what buttons to press, and then the R3 actions button kind of gives you the option. See how I've already got a catalyst installed on my Legion? You have to go up and take it to max level in order to do that. Now, here's one that you can swap the polarity here, which is fun. I think can I do that on any of these? So if you forma something, it actually gives you an option to swap the position of that slot. So see how I did that there? Press that and put it over here. Or you can change that one and put it there. So we're not gonna do any of that. You can't change it up here. Oops. Let's see, it says the stance slot polarity cannot be swapped. You have to have a stance forma for that. So basically, if you want to kind of cycle your build and change things, you're able to swap them as such. And I think you have to have, I don't know the specific deal with it, but you can put that in there. And it's right here. This is this one right here. It says swap polarity. So that is really kind of the ins and outs of what you can do within this menu. There are these screens here. R1 will tell you kind of what goes where, and it gives you the little icons here to match up. Obviously, ribbon mods and things of that nature. We'll get into a little bit later, but these are the different styles of mods that come along that you can plug in to the corresponding slots up here. And then, as you'll see, like see how the red one there gives you a 1 or like a red. It's a red, so that means you're not getting the added buff basically. And then finally up here, this one here actually is the amount of formas you have in that particular weapon. So let me show you Rhino real quick before we get out of here. Oops. I have no formas in my Rhino. No, I definitely have to have formas in my Rhino. Why is it not showing? I know I have formas in my Rhino. I'm confused. Whatever. So it's supposed to show there, but I guess for whatever reason it's not showing me why I don't have formas in either of these. I put formas in both of them. So maybe they changed that. I'm not real certain. Once you put a lens in them, maybe it doesn't show that anymore. But again, more on focus lenses a little bit later. We'll kind of get into that in a future video, just kind of show what we're doing in that regard, things like that nature, because I don't want to give too many spoilers away. So with that said, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments section below. If you have any questions about Warframe or any of the other games that I've covered in terms of my reviews, I would love to kind of talk to you more about it. So next week we will be doing a real heavy video on mods, and I'll cover more about how that affects this, which is your screen that shows your armor, energy, health, shield, sprint speed, and things of that nature. Mods really affect a lot of that stuff, which is why I didn't spend a lot of time there. But your base stats and your abilities are all right here. You can kind of hover over them and it shows you like a video, shows you what the drain is, the speed, damage, range, radius, and the window. So you it tells you kind of what it does, which is nifty. So you can kind of go in there and it shows you all that. And I see down here, the one thing I didn't touch on is the conclave. Now we'll hit that button real quick. There's a reason I didn't think about this, because this is the PvP element of Warframe that nobody ever fucking uses. truth be told. And I'll just probably do a video on PvP at some point, but a lot of people don't play PvP in Warframe. I do wish there was a little bit more emphasis on PvP, but there isn't. So as such, we'll do a PvP video down the road. But for right now, that's the loadout is essentially the same and whatnot. So I didn't see the point in really kind of focusing real heavy on that. So like I said, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I do stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Central. That's on Facebook and Twitch. All of my social media channels are in the description below, as well as the Discord server, which is up and running. Would love for you to come inside the Discord server and hang out. There are different channels, both in regards to Warframe, among other things. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, polite PSA. If words offend you, you can fuck off.